Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bihata Nishacharachamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramannasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittalaya Sada Bhavatu me Bho Rama Mamuddhara Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram Satgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha te mayi santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We were seeing the Upasana portion in Kenopanishad. Upanishad Rishi is giving us different reminders of turning our attention towards Bhagavan. We keep different reminders for ourselves, right, on our phones. Drink water, brush, floss. These are reminders Upanishad keeps internally. We don't have to depend upon any other external thing. Whenever these things happen, use that as an indicator to remind ourselves of Bhagavan. First one was lightning example. The simile over there was just like Yaksha came and disappeared, like that this lightning comes, or when you see the lightning come and disappear, remember how Yaksha came and disappeared in front of Devatas. And the whole Leela, whatever he did of removing their Abhimana, on that Bhagwan I meditate upon. Then the second thing we had seen was alertness. How when there is lightning and it again goes back, you have a flash of a second where you can thread a needle, do so many things. So like that, one has to be alert to notice this Chaitanya, notice Bhagavan. One who is ever present, but often unnoticed. That was a lightning example. Then we saw blinking of eyelids. That is Adhidaiva Upasana. Lightning was Adhibhota Upasana. Adhidaiva Upasana, we saw that just when we close our eyes, the light which is illumining objects, that goes away and again comes back. In the same way, this whole creation which is there appears and disappears in Brahma. That Brahma who appeared and disappeared in front of Devatas, that Brahma I remember. All of them are reminders. There is nothing that we should get stuck with the reminder itself. What is being reminded, on that we should shift our attention. Okay, 2 upasanas we had seen. Third one was Adhyatma Upasana. This is where we were last time. Adhyatma Upasana is through thoughts, attention is shifted on consciousness. Thought is a conditioning of consciousness as though. So holding on to the thought, I can shift attention to Chaitanya. This is where we had seen the example where this kind of a practice is very similar to Drshyanu Vidha Samadhi in Drishya Viveka. What was the practice there? Objects are seen, eyes are the seer. Rupam Drishyam Lochanam Druk. Now the important point there is the very fact that I am seeing something means my eyes are there. If Rupam becomes Drishyam, form becomes seen, that itself is a proof that there is a seer looking at that scene. Meaning, looking at that apple or the object, I can meditate upon my eyes. Looking at the object, I can meditate upon the eyes. This is an example. Now this Upasana is telling, just like you had Rupa, which is Drishya, and Lochanam, eyes which are Drashta. We also have thoughts which are Drishya and Sakshi, which is Drashta. Another name of Sakshi is Bhagavan. Another name of Sakshi is Bhagavan. Remember the Lord through thoughts. Remember the Lord through thoughts. That is this Upasana. Which thought should I remember with? He said, no, Bhagavan is not going to be object of thought outside. He says, any thought which is there, the one who is revealing it, that is Bhagavan. Avrutta Chakshuhu, travel this journey inside. So generally what do we say? Illuminator reveals the illumined. But this Upasana is, illuminator is revealed by the illumined. The object outside itself is doing abhivyakti. It is manifesting as though the illuminator. Now I had asked a question, remember? What was the question? I said, I know the answer, but I don't know the question. Right. Pratibodh Viditam Matam Amrutatvam hi Vindate. That mantra was in Jnana portion. Whereas here also we are seeing the same technique. Through thoughts, we are shifting attention to consciousness. How come this is Upasana and that is Jnanam? What did you all think? You can type it in the chat. Why is Pratibodha Viditam Matam Upasana? I mean Jnanam. Whereas this particular mantra, it is Upasana. In person, you can just say it out loud. No, don't worry. Whatever is there, you can say. Louder, I can't hear. Good. Anything else? In which mantra? This mantra or that mantra? In Upasana, you're repeating this thought again and again, whereas in Jnanam, that Sakshi is myself, that is Jnanam. Here it is practice or sadhana, and it is understanding is knowledge. Mantra seems to be indicating how to do it. Means one knowledge is theory, another knowledge is practice. Huh? Hmm. In Jnanam, I have to own up my nature as Sakshi, whereas here, even if I don't do Mahavakya Vichara, I can still take Alambanam and meditate upon Sakshi. All good points. If you look at the Bhashya, what we had seen there, Pratibodh Viditam Matam, and what we are seeing in this mantra. One more point we can reflect upon, and that is, in Jnana portion, Bhagavan put lot of effort in that mantra, Pratibodha Viditam Matam, which came in Jnana portion. Bhagavan put lot of effort to establish that we are talking about Nirupadika Atma. That Atma which is Advitiya. Nirupadika Atma means which doesn't have conditioning even of thought. And Advitiya means other than Atma, everything is Mithya. So Jnana portion should reach us to this point. Although he said thought is the doorway to consciousness. But once you have entered that door, don't come back again. Means negate the satta of thoughts, negate the reality given to thoughts and everything else. Whereas in Upasana portion, Upadhi will not be negated. Conditioning also I can keep as real. And what I'm meditating upon, that is the reality. That is the difference. In no Upasana, what we are doing Upasana with the support of, that support will never be negated. So over here, the support is a thought. I can keep that thought and I can shift attention to consciousness. But in Jnanam, although I take support of thought to say I am the witness, but that is not the end. That is 50% Jnanam. Next step of Jnanam is to know that this thought is also an appearance in me. Okay, so that is how you will distinguish. And if you see the portion we had seen in Pratibodha Vidita Matam, Bhagavan Shankaracharya refuted Nyaya Darshana, Vaisheshika Darshana, Bauddha Darshana. And what was their main objection? Atma is Sopadika. Somebody said Atma has thought as its conditioning. Means thought itself is Atma. There is no difference between thought and Atma. Somebody said Atma is Dravya, it is inert. Then Bauddha Darshana said, Aham and Idam are always together. Recap all this we will see again now. But it is just important to appreciate how this Jnanam is different from Upasana portion. In Jnanam, Bhagavan put forth effort to establish Atma is Nirupadika and Advitiya. Means our Vedanta, this background shruti of Vedanta is not started if you are not discussing Mithyatva. When we say Advaita Vedanta, right? That word Advaita only means it is non-dual. Other than Chaitanya, everything else I should be able to remove Satta. Satta means giving itself independent reality. So that is this difference. But whenever we are seeing Upasana portion, we should appreciate that. We should hold on to that, not mix up both of it. Little bit of bhashya is there on this part. Mana upadikatvat hi manasah sankalpa smrityadi pratyayaihi abhivyajyate brahma vishayikriyamanam iva atah sa esha brahmano adhyatmam adeshah vidyut nimeshanavat adhidaivatam druta prakashana dharmi adhyatmam cha manah pratyaya samakala abhivyakti dharmi ityesha adeshah. Now Bhagavan is elaborating why this upasana is given. He says, Mana upadikatvat. Mind is as though a conditioning of Brahma. Therefore, we can make this connection. You hold on to the conditioning, you can shift attention to the conditioned. Like the example we had seen, to shift attention to space is difficult. Because this room can become a conditioning of space. I can hold on to that conditioning of room and shift attention to space. Like that, mind becomes conditioning of Atma. So holding on to thoughts, holding on to mind, I can shift attention to Atma. Mana upadikatvat hi manasah sankalpa smrityadi pratyayehi abhivejyate brahma. Through this mind, different thoughts are there. What are those thoughts? Sankalpa. You make a resolve. You remember something. Smriti. Pratyayehi abhivejyate. But this sadhaka's attention is not on what is remembered. His attention is also not on what sankalpa he is doing. His attention is on the illuminator of that sankalpa, illuminator of that memory. That is why in the last class we had seen, Bhagavan said, who can do this upasana? He said, sadhaka only can do this upasana. If he is a, how do you call, a sadhaka or unsadhaka, then his attention will always be on object. To appreciate that there is a thought in between me and the object, that itself is a great accomplishment. So sadhaka can do upeksha. He can keep the object aside, at least for the time being, of upasana, shift attention to thoughts first, and holding on to that thought can shift attention to consciousness. That is this upasana. He says, don't worry about which thought you are taking. Take any thought. Sankalpa, smriti. But there again we should remember, we can't take thought of anger and then say, I'm going to remember my Lord through anger. There is a quote by Gurudev, which we will see later. Okay, so this is the method where sadhana will give us beautiful thoughts. But that is not the end of our journey. Journey ends in knowing that I am the witness of this beautiful thought. Okay, so that is this. Pratyayehi abhivejyate brahma vishayi kriyamanam iva. As though it has made Brahman as an object. Who has made? Thought has made. But not like object. Okay, through thought, the illuminator is revealed. Atah sa esha brahmana adhyatma adeshah. Because of this similarity being there, thought becoming a conditioning of Atma, this upadesha of Adhyatma upadesha of upasana is given. We had seen in the last session that whenever we talk about upasana, we should know what is the similarity. Otherwise, that support we keep seeing all the time. Haven't we seen blinking of eyes? Haven't we seen lightning? Haven't we noticed thoughts? Then what has this Upasana added? So that same support which you are already seeing, using that, you can meditate upon something very subtle. So that is this main thing of knowing the connection. Vidyut nimeshanavat adhidaivatam durta prakasha dharmi. In the Adhidaivata Upasana, Brahma also was Dhruta Prakasha Dharmi, means it came and it manifested and unmanifested, like that lightning comes and goes. Now, what is the similarity for the thought? This is a very beautiful line. Bhagavan says, Adhyatmam cha manaha pratyaya samakala abhivyakti dharmi. In this Adhyatma Upasana, the moment you see a thought, right at that moment, you can recognize Brahma. Whenever a thought is seen, right then and there, Brahman can be recognized. Means after studying Vedanta, we should not have this thought of where, or we should not have this question, where can I find Brahman? Where can I find Bhagavan? Where can I recognize them? It says recognize them behind every thought. Now look at it another way also. When is there a time when thoughts are not there? Throughout our day, right? From the time we wake up to the time we go to bed. When is there a time when there are no thoughts? Unless we are doing some kind of yoga abhyasa, vritti nirodha, or we are going into deep sleep. Other than that, every moment there is a thought. But it's a good news. Meaning there is no time when I cannot remember Bhagavan. If I have made that connection through thought, I can shift attention to Bhagavan. Thoughts are there all the time. Remembrance of the Lord should be there all the time. If it cannot happen all the time, at least blink our eyes and then remember Him. If even that is difficult, seasonal remembrance. When lightning comes, remember Him. But the beauty is, our rishis gave us a more steady alambanam in between. They said, take Vigraha of Bhagavan and then remember the same Lord every day through your prayers. Now, this is all Upanishad before Vigraha Puja started. So, what was their support? You see, these were their supports. One from Adhibhota, one from Adhidaiva, one from Adhyatma. Okay. Iti esha adesha. This is the adesha. Now, there is an example given for this, how thoughts are revealing consciousness. There is sun, there is reflection of sun in that water. Now pay attention to the reflection of sun. At night, there is water or not? But that water is not revealed. But moment the reflection falls, that reflection reveals that water. But that reflection is also revealing the sun. Means if I look at the reflection, I should not have a doubt, oh, I know there is reflection, but I don't know if there is sun or not. The moment there is reflection, that itself reveals the sun. So here it is said, mind can reveal objects outside. Mind is reflected consciousness. Mind can reveal objects outside, but that same mind can reveal its illuminator just by its presence. If I'm seeing mind having sentiency, I should not have a doubt whether Chaitanya Swarupa Atma is there or not. Okay. So these are some points. Bhagavan concludes this by saying, Evam adishyamanam hi brahma manda buddhi gamyam bhavatiti brahmana adesha upadeshah nahi nirupadikam eva brahma manda buddhibhihi akalitum shakyam. Bhagavan says, you know why these three upasanas are given? Evam adishyamanam hi brahma. If you indicate Brahman with conditioning, what happens? Says even the beginners, they can appreciate nature of Brahma. Saturday morning, Manda Buddhi, we should translate in the right way. Why unnecessarily spoil our mind on a weekend? You know, Manda Buddhi doesn't mean somebody who is unable to think. Like how in Bhajagovindam we saw it. Nahi nahi rakshati dukrun karane samprapte sannhite kale. That person whom Bhagavan is scolding is not an unintelligent person. Very, very intelligent. For that person, Bhagavan calls him as Manda Buddhi. Mudha Mate means same thing. So in Vedanta, the meaning of Manda Buddhi is slightly different. One is, somewhere this conviction is there in his mind that I will accept only that thing which I can see, which I can hear, which I can touch. Means only if it becomes pratyaksha, sthula vishaya, gross object, then only he says this thing is there. Even to appreciate, there is something called as thought, which is subtle, is hard for that person. What to talk about Atma, which is even beyond thought, beyond unmanifest Brahma. Another thing about this word Manda Buddhi, somebody who has failed to appreciate importance of pramana. Failed to appreciate importance of pramana. That is called as Manda Buddhi. In Vedanta, we say one should know the truth, or one should see the truth. Atma va are drashtavyaha. How do you see the truth? It is said by closing your eyes. Avrutta chakshu, close your eyes. Then what should I do? Open your ears. Atma va are drashtavyaha shrotavyaha. Listen to the scriptures and walk the path they are indicating. Brahman is not something outside. It will never become an object of knowledge. It is me, myself. Having indicated this, we say put forth effort to shift attention to that Chaitanya. But if we are in the beginning stages, then it is said the same Nirguna Brahma is indicated with Upadhi. Look at lightning, shift attention to Chaitanya. Look at thoughts, shift attention to Chaitanya. But the final teaching is Chaitanya is Nirupadika. It has no conditionings whatsoever. You ask the space, what is your relationship with the walls? You say, which wall? Space is Nirupadika. It has no connection with any wall. Okay. So 3 simple techniques. Nirupadika Brahma, because it is difficult to grasp and appreciate. Sopadika Brahma technique is given. Okay, so these upasanas are over. Now there is one more upasana, which is very, very beautiful. Let's chant the words first and then look at the meaning. Tadha tadvanam nama tadvanam iti upasitavyam saya etat evam vedabhi ha enam sarvani bhutani samvanchanti. Previous upasanas had what? Okay. Previous upasanas had mind as support, lightning as support, blinking of eyelids as support. This upasana has nama as support, name of the Lord. What is the name of Bhagavan? He says Tadvanam. Meditate upon the Lord who has this name Tadvanam. Now, Vanam has nothing to do with forest. Vanam means worshipful, whom everybody loves very dearly. That is worshipful. And Tad means everybody. There is nobody in this creation who doesn't love Bhagavan very dearly. I say, what are you saying? There are so many people here in this world who don't believe in Bhagavan. I say, appreciate the meaning of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is the indweller, the one who lives within us. And that is something everybody loves. Even a selfish person loving himself, this is really speaking, he's loving the same Bhagavan. Because there are different layers outside. His aham buddhi is in those layers. But those layers, at some point we like it, some points we don't like it. But the innermost indweller, the indwelling self, that is something which all of us like at all times. All of us love at all times. So that is this Tadvanam, that is Bhagavan. Now he says, just like you see it here, see it in everybody. Means that Bhagavan who is residing in my heart is the same Bhagavan who is residing in each and every person outside. That is the Nididhyasanam. That is the Upasana part. This is also called as Ahangrahopasana. Ahangrahopasana means you are taking yourself as a support, and in that we are meditating upon that all-loving Bhagavan, or the one whom everybody loves, Tadvanam, that Bhagavan is residing in my heart. Generally what do we feel? Who resides inside? We say anger is residing inside, Kama is there, Lobha is there. This Upasana tells us, no doubt they are there. But in the midst of all those things, there is this effulgent Bhagavan also. Avidnyata Sakha, one who is unnoticed. In Kenopanishad, there is one mantra which says, Gahvareshtham Puranam. Gahvareshtham means one who is amidst all these different, all sorts of things. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, all other negative thoughts, whatever can be there. In spite of them being there, there is this self-effulgent Chaitanya Swarupa, Bhagavan who is seated inside. Meditate upon oneself in that way. Tadvanam nama Tadvanam iti upasitavyam. Using the name Tadvanam, remembering the meaning of the name Tadvanam. Meditate upon Bhagavan. What is the phala shruti? If somebody meditates in this way, what will that person get? Saya etat evam vedabhi ha enam sarvani bhutani samvanchanti. He meditated upon the Lord in his own self as the one who is dearest to everybody. And you know what this mantra says? That person will become dear to everybody. Saya etat evam vedabhi, the one who knows or meditates in this way, ha enam sarvani bhutani samvanchanti. He becomes dear to everybody. That is the phala shruti of this Upasana. If you want to say it in modern terms, this Upasaka will never be short of love. Something which is considered to be such a great accomplishment. To be content within oneself and to be loved in our own setting, wherever we are placed. This Upasaka will not fall short of both of it. Neither from inside nor from outside. That is the phala shruti. Now, if you see actually, I should have made this a quiz question. Sometimes the animation goes, I forget to put it in. If you do the implication or the sadhana part, how our rishis have given this to us, this is called as Manasa Puja. When we chant Shiva Manasa Puja, what is the bhavana there? That Bhagavan is seated inside. And of such Bhagavan, I do my worship. You see how beautiful that bhava becomes. The fourth verse says, we can chant this together. Right? Atma tvam girija matis sahacharaha prana shariram gruham puja te vishayopabhoga rachana nidra samadhisthitihi sancharav padayo pradakshina vidhi stotrani sarvagiraha yadyat karma karomi tattadakilam shambho tavaradhanam. First statement is Atma Tvam. Means Bhagavan Shiva, he is the self. The one who is seated inside, that is my Bhagavan. And he is not alone. He is with Parvati ji also. Girija Matihi. My intellect, what is there? That is Parvati ji. What is the home for the Lord? Sahacharaha prana. Companions for Bhagavan are my pranas, always serving the Lord. Means the devotee feels I am breathing in because of my Bhagavan. Or you can say I am breathing in for my Bhagavan. They are the Sahacharaha. And the temple is the Sharira. Shariram Gruham. Then if Bhagavan is seated, I should offer Naivedyam. I should offer Prasad. Bhagavan will give Prasad. I should offer my Naivedyam. What is my Naivedyam? And Puja. Puja te Vishayopa Bhoga Rachana. All the sense organs, sense objects, whatever I am seeing through my sense organs, that is my Naivedyam to the Lord. Means Bhadram Karnebi should happen naturally. Seeing auspicious things, hearing auspicious things should happen naturally. Because Naivedyam, we are very careful what we should offer, what we should not offer. Puja te Vishayopa Bhoga Rachana. Then Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. We will not elaborate on Nidra Samadhi Sthiti. Simple meaning of that is, when we go to sleep, if we sleep with knowledge, that sleep also is a worship. When we go to sleep, going with this bhavana that, Bhagavan, enough of this world now. Now I want to spend exclusive time with you. He says that Nidra is Samadhi Sthitihi. Then whenever I go around, Sancharav Padayo Pradakshina Vidhi. Wherever I walk, if my Bhagavan is inside, that is my Pradakshina around the Lord. Now here we should not bring too much of Vedanta, otherwise that bhava goes away. Whenever there is Upasana Prakaranam, hold on to Upasana Prakaranam. That Bhagavan who is inside, while doing any walking, that is my Pradakshina of the Lord. And whatever I speak, Stotrani Sarvo Giraha. Means this sadhaka takes permission from the Lord before speaking. Whatever he speaks, that becomes stotram. Means that much of confidence he has on his speech, it will not have any kind of ragadvesha. That is why such a speech, even if it's a scolding, it becomes a stotram, like Bhajagovindam. Minus Ragadvesha, whatever they say, that becomes stotram. Stotrani sarvagiraha, yadyat karma karomi tadakhilam. Same bhava, Bhagavan seated inside, one who is the most worshipful, one who is loved dearly by everybody. Whatever action I'm doing, say, don't look for any altar outside. Same Bhagavan is right inside, seeing each and every action. Shambho Tavaradhanam. In this way, meditate upon that Bhagavan. Now, these two pictures on the left, they're actually from the story I had shared in the Bhagavad Gita class. This is a story of a great saint whose name was Pusala. And it so happens he wants to construct a very big temple of Lord Shiva, but very poor, doesn't have the materials to construct it. He says, if I cannot construct outside, I can construct inside. So he starts constructing, builds the foundation, does everything, the courtyard, the kalasha, everything he does. Now, final thing is prana pratishta of Bhagavan. That is to be done yet. So he has reached up till that point in his Manasa Puja. That time there was a king, Raja Pallava. Said he was the king of Kanchi, king of Kanchi. He was also constructing another temple outside. And he completes the whole thing. Prana Pratishtha is supposed to be done. That day he gets a dream where Lord Shiva comes and says, please postpone the date of your Prana Pratishtha. I cannot come tomorrow. He asks why. He says, there is another temple I have to go to. Pusala is building one temple. That's why I cannot come tomorrow. King wonders, who is Pusala? Pusala in Tamil means the one who has smeared vibhuti. I don't know Tamil. Somebody told me that's what it means. The vibhuti, which is smeared. He says, who is this Pusala? Go and find out. All soldiers, they go different places. Then they say there is one person who is sitting and meditating every day, and people call him Pusala because of that vibhuti. He says, bring him. Then he narrates the whole thing. And then he is in tears saying that how much Bhagavan can give mana to a devotee. So even if he didn't have anything outside, his Manasa Puja was so powerful that Bhagavan said to do Prana Pratishtha, I will come. So then that king constructs the main temple. And the name of this temple is Hrudaya Lishwara temple. But actually the word split as Hrudaya Alaya Ishwara. Hrudaya means the heart which became Alaya, the home for Ishwara. Hrudaya Alaya Ishwara. That is the power of Manasa Puja of Bhagavan. Whenever we study these Upanishads, whatever sadhana we are already doing, that sadhana should get depth. Now we might be chanting Shiva Manasa Puja as our sadhana, but mind doesn't settle all the time on that Bhagavan who is inside. So these Upanishad mantras open up that facet. Is to meditate upon the Lord while chanting in this way. Okay, there is some bhashya here. Kincha tad brahma ha kila tadvanam nama tasya vanam tadvanam tasya pranijatasya pratyagatma bhutatvat vanam vananiyam sambhajaniyam atah tadvanam nama prakhyatam brahma tadvanam iti yatah tasmat Tadvanam iti anena eva guna abhidhanena upasitavyam chintaniyam. Kincha, moreover, tad brahma kila tadvanam nama. That Brahman whom we have spoken about, that Brahman is also known by the name Tadvanam. Tasya vanam tadvanam. Bhagavan opens up that samasa. He says, don't understand the word vanam to be forest. How did we get the name Tadvanam? There is a samasa, Shashti Tatpurusha. He says, Tasya vanam. Tasya refers to whom? Tasya refers to Prani Jatasya. Not only human beings, even animals love themselves very dearly. But they are loving themselves dearly because this most worshipful Bhagavan is seated in each and everyone's heart. It is just like we love the jewelry box, not because of the box, because of the jewelry inside the box. Like that, Bhagavan is inside. We don't love this body for the sake of body. Says we love this body because there is a touch of divinity of that Lord. Prani Jatasya Pratyegatma Bhutatvat. He is the innermost self of all. Pratyegatma Bhutatvat Vananiyam. Most worshipful. Sambhajaniyam. So Vananiyam means Sambhajaniyam, one who is most worshipful. Ataha Tadvanam. Therefore, the name comes Tadvanam. Prakyatam Brahma Tadvanam iti yataha. Bhagavan is very generous, in writing such statements. What this means is he says, this name is very popular in the world. Did you hear the word Tadvanam before this mantra or before studying Kenopanishad anywhere? According to Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, Tadvanam is a very popular name. Prakyatam Brahma Tadvanam iti. Brahma is popularly known as Tadvanam. How will you understand this? He says, even if you don't know the word Tadvanam, the meaning of that word is very popular. Nobody has to be told that you love yourself. All of us love ourselves, that is natural. Why we are loving ourselves that much? That Bhagavan says we need to study and understand. Our nature is Ananda Swarupa. Wherever that Ananda Swarupa has got Aham Bhava, that thing we hold on to erroneously as ourselves and start loving that thing. Right? Aham Bhava in Deha. Ananda Swarupa Atma thinking itself to be Deha. So wherever that Tadatmya has happened, erroneously we end up loving that thing. But here it is said, love that Bhagavan directly, who is Ananda Swarupa right inside. Prakyatam Brahma Tadvanam iti yataha tasmat Tadvanam iti anena eva guna abhidanena upasitavyam. Therefore, one should meditate upon the Lord through this indicator of Tadvanam. There is one more facet to it. Navada Bhakti, one of the devotions will open up if you understand this facet. What is that one bhakti which comes? Bhagavan says, Sapane ho nahi dekhahi para dosa. Athava jata labha santosha, sapane ho nahi dekhahi para dosha. Eighth form of devotion is a very exalted form. In Navada Bhakti, actually, the depth of bhakti is in a sequential order. Prathama bhagati kara santana sangha. Going and sitting down, doing satsang, that is the first step. Dusare rati mama katha prasanga. Sitting there and putting forth effort to take delight in that subject. Listening with rati. That is the second. And then different bhaktis are mentioned. As we go further, the subtlety increases. After mantra japa, which is the fifth form of devotion, all other bhaktis which are there, they are more of personality of a devotee. It is not an action-oriented bhakti. So 8th form, imagine, out of 9, this is placed at 8th bhakti in subtlety. What is a devotion? Sapanehu nahi dekhahi paradosha. This devotee is the one, even in dream, he doesn't see faults in others. Means in waking state, he should have practiced this sufficiently. What we see in dream is only our waking. Means in waking also, he doesn't see faults in others. Now Goswamiji doesn't elaborate. He says that and he moves on to the 9th bhakti. Now the sadhaka should start thinking, if I'm seeing fault outside, how can I not see that fault? There this mantra again comes to rescue. In spite of all the faults being there, the same worshipful Lord whom I meditate upon is seated in that person's heart also. Just like in the midst of all negativities here, same Bhagavan is seated. In the midst of all other emotions there, same Bhagavan is seated. Ramakrishna Paramahansa would call it as X-ray vision. You see, when you take an X-ray, it removes everything and just goes to the core, the bones. Like that, he would say, when you see a person, you should be able to leave everything aside and notice Paramatma there. That is the bhava by which he can transcend this dosha drishti. Vedantic dosha drishti is different. We say in Vairagya, have dosha drishti. That is shortcoming in sense objects. Don't mix up dosha drishti of Vedanta with dosha drishti in Ramcharitmanas. Ramcharitmanas dosha drishti is talking about seeing some kind of shortcomings in others. But how do we overcome it? Answer lies in devotion. Means even with that person with whom we would have differences. At work, it happens many times, right? You put one point, another person puts another point. Project goes here and there. You see, in spite of differences, I should be happily able to go out for lunch with that person. With the same bhavana, I'm having lunch with my worshipful Bhagavan who is appearing in this upadhi. Okay. Iti upasitavyam. In this way, one should meditate. This was the quote by Gurudev that I was mentioning. He says, seek the Lord. Vananiyam sambhajaniyam tadvanam Bhagavan. In the smiles of your friends. Means when the upadhi is very conducive. In the glow of angry eyes. That is this co-worker with whom I can still go have lunch. In the storms of passion. That is again inside. Why do we say that? Because he is everywhere and he is in everything. That is a bhava, one who is everywhere and in everything. Phala shruti, I'll read directly. Anena namna upasanasya phalamaha. One who does upasana in this way, result is mentioned. Saha yaha kaschit etat yathoktam brahma evam yathokta gunam veda upaste. One who meditates upon Brahma in this way. One who is seated inside, one who is most worshipful. What does he get? Abhiha enam upasakam sarvani bhutani abhisamvanchanti. That upasaka becomes dear to everybody. Sarvani bhutani. Not only human beings, even animals. Abhisamvanchanti ha prarthayante eva yatha brahma. Next one is even subtler phalashruti. He says if this can become siddha, this kind of upasana can really become fructified in a great sadhaka, he will have the ability to fulfill wishes of people. Just like Bhagavan has the ability to fulfill wishes, like that, this great Mahatma will have the ability to fulfill wishes. Samvan chantiha prarthayante eva yatha brahma. Just like people pray to Bhagavan, like that he can fulfill. But it is exalted stages. Somebody like Siddha Purushas, all of them. Like the Kanakadhara Sotram, the story that goes behind it. How Bhagavan was able to fulfill their devotee's desire in that way. Okay. All right. Now the connection to the next part is interesting. I'll only tell the question. Okay. Imagine, where did we start? Keneshitam padati preshitam manaha. Then came Shrotrasya Shrotram. Then final 2.4, Pratibodh Viditam Matam. Then Upasana portion started. Ishvara Siddhi Prakaranam came. Now there is one student who raises his hand. He says, teacher, I have a question. Teacher says, ask, what is your question? His question is, oh teacher, please teach me Upanishad. He says, please teach me Upanishad. Teacher answers by saying, what you have been taught is Upanishad only. What you have been taught is Upanishad only. Student says, thank you, teacher, I got it. And goes away. Others are watching. What happened? What did he ask? What did he answer? Because it looks like he's, was not paying attention. Imagine you tell somebody something in detail, how to make some recipe. Now, after you have told, that person asks, please tell me how to make this recipe. Means what? He didn't pay attention. Bhagavan says, no. This person, this student is a Uttama Adhikari. He has a lot of Vairagya inside. He is asking this question. And if he is asking, there has to be a reason why he is asking. So Bhagavan writes elaborate bhashya to explain why is he asking this question. And what is this answer by the teacher. Okay, that will continue in the next session. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.